Oh yeah, we up with this one. Bambino Gold, man. Trapping made it happen. We want to know what happened. We gonna take you to the A-Town, all the way to that Bama. Somebody got some explaining to do. Cato Media presents ATL got heat in that Bama.
For real, Lil Fat actually was putting that together. That was my partner. Shit. That's why I fought with Fat. Fat, the first person really tried to reach out and like get me a situation. I feel like it was genuine.
Trapping made it happen. Let's go.
29-year-old Atlanta-based rapper Edward Reeves, but his fans knew him as Bambino Gold.
People that told me they had been following his music for so long.
Reeves and his friend Kendrick Stokes were reported missing on November 7th. Their bodies were found almost a week and a half later in Macon County. Reeves was laid to rest on Saturday, and Stokes' funeral will be on December 2nd at Free Will Baptist Church in Montgomery.
Alright, so let's get into it, man. So on November 18, 2017, 29-year-old Edward Reeves, known as Bambino Gold, and his cousin 30-year-old Kendrick Stokes were found shot to death while visiting family members in Montgomery, Alabama. Their bodies were found off a county road in Macon County, Alabama. Reeves and Stokes, so I think they're both from Montgomery, but you know how it is, like you've been in Atlanta for a while, so you know a lot of people just think you from here, so you just claim it type of situation. But they were not from the A. They were from Montgomery. They went missing in Montgomery though, nearly 2 weeks prior to their bodies being discovered. The men were last seen on November the 5th, driving a white 2016 Honda CRV with a Georgia tag. So this is crazy to me, man, because I remember this whole situation. Like, they kept showing this one particular female, and they was like, you know, she had something to do with his death. And I know it's like at the time she like kind of like deleted her social media, or she like, you know, blocked off her comments. But we gonna get into that a little later on, right? So let's touch base on the real right now. Alright, so 37-year-old Nicolette Jackson, which is Reeves' girlfriend at the time of his death, was wanted for questioning after investigators said she failed to show up with them to the police station since her initial interview. Hours after the press conference on Friday, she contacted Crime Stoppers and said she no longer wanted to give information. Now, if that doesn't sound shaky, man, I don't know what is. And this is what I be telling y'all guys from time to time, man. Stop putting your faith and trust in these females because they know your every move. You can't fall victim because, you know, the pussy is good. Sometimes you gotta start thinking with your mind, man. Like, you know, am I able to leave her in my house by herself while I'm gone type of situation? If everything goes left between us, and she's still gonna have my back. And I don't think a lot of you guys really think about that. But we gonna get into that, man. Hold that dial. So from the news report, it stated that they had traveled to Alabama from Atlanta for a performance at a bar in Montgomery, Alabama. This is what the Macon County Sheriff Andre Brunson told the website, that someone walking in that area discovered Reeves' body, and the police searched the area overnight, leading to the discovery of Stokes' body. So they put their bodies in two different locations. Like, these guys were really on a mission. They didn't even set them side by side. Like, they spread them out. Now, these were the exact words from the sheriff. He said that they were not far off of the road at all. It looked like somebody placed them there. I don't think they were killed there. So pretty much they were killed in one location, and man, they was dragged out to the country, man, and they was dumped out there like, you know what I'm saying, like some meat, man. It's just crazy because it's like, it's been years later and this case has went cold. Like, they still haven't found any suspects. That's crazy to me. So I'm guessing after the performance, Reeves and Stokes, they visited a friend the night of November the 5th and went missing that night. Like, that was it. Nobody seen them. Nobody heard from them ever since. Man, if that's not a setup, I don't know what is. And it could be multiple people playing that role, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you really determine? Like, even with it being years later, now it's like, man, unless somebody is just really gonna come out. And I think the girlfriend in this situation, man, I don't know what she at. I think she went cold turkey for real. Alright, so let's get into it, man. So Reeves, which is Bambino Gold, he was the father as well, man. He had been taking rapping seriously for like 5 years. And when I tell you, man, this guy has literally dropped a mixtape like every other year. I'm not even joking. In 2010, he had Warning Shots, which was him and Eldorado Red. Then in 2012, he dropped Fuck Being Indicted. Then in 2014, he dropped Trappin' Made It Happen with a follow-up tape called Love Fake, The Hate Real. 2015, he released Young Done, and he followed up with Upgrade and Trappin' Made It Happen too. Come on, man, that's crazy. In 2017, he dropped Getting Money, and then he dropped Scarface. So he was like very like consistent, man, as far as his music when he really took it seriously. He had a unique flow at that, man, which I became a fan after that, because I first caught wind of Bambino Gold. He was on a Gucci Man. It was like a DVD, man. I can't recall if it was like a Hood Affairs or what, but I seen him freestyling on there as well. So I'm like, all right. Ever since then, I've been following that, man. But this story has just gotten so crazy because I'm like, nothing has ever came about with that whole situation, man.
Yeah, when I got to prison, you know, that's a fucked up place, man. Them folks, they was fucking with me hard because of the Gucci shit. Like, to a start. When I was on that DVD, everybody knew me from that shit, man. I'd go somewhere, wouldn't even know a motherfucker. I was in Georgia prison. Person be way from Warner Robins. He pull up on me and rap the whole freestyle. Fuck with me.
On top of that, man, he even mentioned if it wasn't for Gucci, he wouldn't have a career. And that's another thing, man. I don't think people realize how much Gucci has paved the way, man. He can find a street artist. This man really knows talent. And I don't think Gucci gets that like prop of like knowing that like man, this man raised a lot of artists that you hear to this day, man, down from the Migos, from whomever, you know what I mean? Like they all look up to Gucci in some type of way. And as I mentioned, like previously, he stated he did a freestyle on Gucci Man's DVD, and that's when Bambino started getting his notoriety. But like, that's real dope, man. I feel like Gucci is not one of those people. Like he knows how to reach back out to the hood and find an artist, man. Like, even with his lineup, man, Pooh Shiesty, Fujiano, you know, Big Scar, all them boys, like, even though they locked up at this time, man, he definitely has an ear for what the streets want to hear, man. So, Bambino Gold, he had a situation with Trill NT, but he bought himself out of the contract for like $25,000. From his interview, he felt like they wasn't giving him that push, man. You know how it is, man, when you kind of like contracting with certain people and you expect them to push your music, or you have expectations on how you want things to go, man. And he wasn't feeling that at Trill ENT. He had a relationship with Gucci, man, and so Icy ENT, but when he went to prison, man, it kind of like fell off from there. And he didn't decide to pursue, you know, going forward with the whole Gucci Man thing. He did a 3-year bid for a drug and firearm charge. So I can only imagine, like, you know, you see them boys up when you in there, and then when you get out, you don't want to seem like you just hopping on a campaign at that time because everybody on. But man, it's a sad situation. And you already know, man, this life that we live, Sometimes you find yourself doing the same thing you were doing before you even went in when you got locked up. So as you know, man, this life is not pretty. And with that being said, this wasn't the first attempt on Gold's life. He was shot in the face, apparently. He was a target for an attempt on his life while he was in his garage. Check this clip out, and y'all let me know what y'all think.
While he was shooting, I was looking, and I don't know, it just felt a little weird. I was looking, and one on hit me in my face. And when it hit me in my face, I went to shooting back. And then that was the end of it. I got up out the garage. He's sneaking and shit. And he jumped out with his gun or whatever with like a 30-round clip. And when he go to shooting at me, like I said, I was like, I'm looking because I'm like, damn, I feel like I know who that is or whatever. Like, damn, I see that fuck nigga. And then while he's shooting at me, one on like hit me. Cause I'm like, I don't know why I was stuck outside like my body or something like that. So when it one hit me, I felt it come through the window and like hit me, but I ain't feel it like it was a setup. I got shot before, but all that shit been weak shit, like a shot in my leg, like from being in the car doing a shootout, you know what I'm saying? And one on like grazed my leg, or a shot right in my hand from a nigga actually trying to rob me, and I batted him down. I actually shot my hand shooting him.
I'm gonna keep it all the way a beam, man. I feel like Bambino Gold, like every other artist, man, that you hear about, they have a hard time like maneuvering out of those streets. And it's like, how do I leave the streets when this is the reason why I'm here in the first place? But it's like, you can't be successful and still be in the streets at the same time. And that's the thing with a lot of artists, man, that I talk about, man, from, Lil Marlo, Trouble. I mean, I think people are like missing the concept, man. You do it to make it out, not to stay in. And I feel like these guys become victims of that every time. Like, well, I'm gonna show them. Or even with the PNB Rock situation, it's like, man, these guys can have multiple like encounters where their life is about the end and they'll still be moving the same way, like no security, still on this man, on hood, ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me. And it's like, yeah, until somebody does something to you, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, these guys don't care. They want what you have. And I feel like when these artists start to realize that, then they'll start moving like a little bit more, how they should. And I seen an interview even with Lil Baby, on a Breakfast Club. He was just like, sometimes I go out with no security. Like, I just go out by myself, and I'm just like, man, wow, that's weird to me, because like, do you not realize who you are? Or you don't know what these guys would do just to, say they did something to you? So I feel like these artists have to start like really, 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 man, taking more care and value on their life, man. It's sad because Bambino Gold, man, his case is still not solved. And it's one of them situations like, was a female involved? I don't know, man. I don't want to point fingers. I remember this happening at the time, and she deactivated her social media accounts, man. But I say this to say that, man. Y'all stay safe, stay prayed up. Make sure you moving right. And I'm not saying like Bambino Gold wasn't moving right. I don't know how he was moving, but apparently he was 1 foot in, 1 foot out, man. Still had his foot in the streets. And we all know, man, don't nothing ever come good from being in them streets. Once y'all realize that, y'all stay out of it. It's cool to nerd up. Like, it's okay to nerd up and get money the legit way, for sure. RIP to that boy Bambino Gold. If y'all got any commentary, anything y'all want to say, man, drop that comment, those likes below. Let me know what you think. Yes, sir.